I think something is working. This is a good exercise. And this exercise can actually go really bad. I mean, when I say really bad, it may take very long. I may have to edit a lot of things out because I do not have any idea about what is in my mind. Now you know the insanity of things, okay? At this point, I have something in my mind, like an idea in my mind, but I do not really, I was not able to put it into words, even in my mind. Then putting things into my mind is one thing, and then getting that thing out into words is another thing, and then getting those words from my mind into a paper or onto screen is a totally different thing. So these are multiple steps through which a poet or a writer actually goes through. It is the same process for every artist. I mean, even painters and people who draws and do architects and other people, they all go through this process. They have something in their mind because it's a process of construction. It's, people call it creative, people call it whatever, they want to call it. It's like a musical piece. Okay, when you take a musical piece, you have to go through 7 notes, and from the 7 notes, you actually bring things, and you break that thing into your needs. You take one from here, you take one from there. These things does exist in the nature. It is already created. It's right in front of you. It's right maybe away from you. It's something you come out with. So that constructive process is there, and when it comes to writing, it's like for an artist, for a musician, notes are there. For an artist, colors are there. But you put all the colors in front of an artist or in front of anyone, he's not going to create art. He's not going to. That's where people say we are creative. Is going to pick things up in such a way that it's something that comes out well in front of the audience. Same way, not exactly the same way for a writer, his methods are images that he depicts. Say even a novelist or even a short story writer or even a screenwriter. So maybe we can start at the screenwriting process. What exactly it means by a screenwriter? A screenwriter actually takes and he actually gives the correct impression that should be shown on the screen to the director. And the director actually takes that and then he actually employs other people to actually bring things onto the screen. So what should be shown? That's the only thing you are going to write. What need to be shown? Okay, say I'm actually saying I'm sitting here. Okay, so if this is going to be written by a screenwriter, is saying Riaz or the Lonely Poet or Saji Mohan Ashan, whichever way you call me and know me. There are 2-3 different ways you call, people know me as Lon, which is a lonely poet, or Saji Mohan Ashan from Facebook, which is my a pet name called by my mother. Saji Mohan and Ashan is my family name. And Riaz is my real, it's the middle part of my real name. So whatever you know me as, okay, Riaz is right now sitting and talking onto the camera about how to write poetry, how he is actually trying to get his creative process out, which he explained to it as constructive. And this is what he sings. Then the actual dialogue of what I'm saying right now. So it actually gives. So it tells the director, okay, yeah, so then the director decides, okay, I'm going to break. Okay, this is where his constructive process is coming. I'm going to break this scene into, say, multiple shots. Okay, one coming from this side, one coming from the left side, and maybe another character is joining in. So how that character is going to come in into the picture. So he actually decides this is a field of view where you are going to actually show things. Okay, so I'm not going to have a lot of things, because I have extremely large amount of light here. So the director decides, and he brings in the cinematographer and says, okay, this is my field of view. then the cinematographer decides, okay, I have to cut this light down so that it is much more sensible. So you see, now you understand, you bring other people in. That is its elements. So when a writer comes in, when it comes to a poetry, you do not have the luxury of light. You do not have the luxury of sound. You do not have the luxury of the multimedia effects, in short, I can say. And when you do not have it, then you have to bring it in words, in the shortest form of words. So you take the imagery of an artist, you then add the sounds to it through words. You then brings in all the texture of this video playing in your mind, and you have to bring it out. And this is where a poet. This is why almost all artists, almost everything in a human life, people say when it comes at the absolute perfection of it, it's poetic. This is where I actually try to fit in. So it's not an easy task. It's a very, very constructive, and it's a lot of times I may not even have my hat. I'll be pulling my hair. You can see through that camera. I mean, I think that camera is kind of getting too old for me. When I say it's getting too old for me, you can imagine. I mean, there are times it goes down, and the people actually complain they cannot see me on the web. So you can people have seen me going through this. I'm sitting here probably for a couple of hours. I'll be sitting like this, and probably they may think that I'm sleeping. I'm not. There are times I sleep, of course. Sitting and sleeping. There used to be a time when people used to see me there on the futon where I'm sleeping, and that times are not over. I mean, actually, it's usually during summer I actually sleep in here, because in winter I prefer to go down and to my bed and sleep. In summer, when it gets really hot, I turn on my AC and just sleep. Then there was a cat. When the cat was there, that's when I completely moved downstairs. When the cat was there, I had a cat. I gave the cat to Georgia, one of my friend. I think she took him to Florida. He was very nice. And when the cat was there, I used to, because the cat, I don't want to keep the cat here because the cat was a very small one. He was very young when I got him. When I got him, he was like only can fit into my hand. He used to just climb all over me. So yeah, now if you're speaking like that, that's the idea. A poet actually speaks to you, but he gives you the color and texture and everything. And it's a very good time for my friend to actually ask me any luck with the job. So let me answer it, or at least So said all that, these are all realities of things. These are all realities of live TV or live video, online. You cannot script it. So said all that, I do, there are times, you go through this process, this gap. There are times when you get stuck at a specific area. And what I'm going through right now is something much different than, most of the people think it is. Repetition. This is what I am trying to do. How much I can repeat a same idea from different angles. So if there are 360 different angles, I will actually use maybe 5, multiply that by 5. I can go through that. That's the idea. So my idea is quite simple. Something is biting me. This idea is pretty simple. Okay. I like a girl, and I want to tell her how much I like her. And I am actually trying to put my, put my cause in front of her, saying that there is a reason for you to like me, and that reason is the multiple angles of life. When somebody likes you, it's not that a guy can come and say, oh yeah, I'm a this person, I'm a that person, I have this, I have that, I have the other things, which nobody else has. That's his cause. Is that the right thing to do? Most of the time people go and make up lies and stories and to just get into the pants of a woman. I may have to be very careful when I choose words here. And I know that. So, okay, here is the thing. I prefer to actually go and tell a girl who I am. I may not have a lot. I may not have the best of the looks. I may not have the best of anything. But I have a cause that I like a girl. Like every other man who have a cause to like a girl. Whether that liking is going to end up with a romantic relationship or a friendly relationship or just a casual relationship, even not two close friends. I don't know. I mean, that's not up to me to decide. It's up to us to decide. So when there should be two people in a relationship to decide. See, if one person is the only one who is making decisions and doing things based on those decisions, then it's stupid. It's outright stupid. So avoiding that is the idea of writing these poems. These poems are trying to be, you take the imagination and put that imagination in some sort of realistic context. That is the idea of these poems. Those are the things that you may see in these poems. And those poems are mostly out there on lonelypoet.com. If you look at the 2019, starting from about February, I should say February, third week, second week, on towards from there, every day I'm actually putting in a poem. There are times, when I actually just sit here and say, okay, I do not have any idea about what is this idea. Like I started this thing. I have an idea in my mind, which I have no idea how to bring it out. So, I don't know whether I can bring the camera out because that camera is actually placed in a very good position. If you look through things, these kind of things that happens, and I have my writing, thing here. It's actually a painter's tool, but I actually use it to just sit and write. If I need to write with my hand, most of the times I just type in the idea, but I write things like that, and put the idea, put the context in there, phrases, and then I walk through that. So given these explanations were given hundreds of times, but I like doing it because it's like going back to square one. Every time I do this, it's a new definition, according to me, even though it is the same definition most of the times I say. But it freshens up. It refreshes you as to how to think think from square one and go through that step by step process. Yeah, every poem when you write, it's like taking once my friend Gail, her name is Gail Etcheverry.